Hi there and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my first creative video of 2020. I'm going to be using my traveller's notebook today and I'm going to be using the new Lollipop Box Club Kit. It's called Follow Your Heart and we're going to get creative in our traveller's notebooks. I am going to be telling a story and it's one that really needs documenting. It's part of my family history, which has ended up becoming the history for my kids, and you'll hear all about it during the video and see why it's an important story that needs telling. And there's also a challenge to go with this video, which I will tell you more about later. Really hope you enjoy this. Don't forget you can follow me over on Instagram. I am the Funky Fairy for my personal home account and Lollipop Box Club for anything creative. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are new. So this is the photo that I'm going to use. I've got my traveller's notebook out. I'm going to separate them. And I've been really looking forward to telling this story because I feel like it's really important in my family history. So it's all about the Candy Cane Inn, which I will tell you more about in a moment. Now the thing I'm going to be doing, I've printed off, I want the title to involve the word love, and I've printed this in a very basic word font. I'm going to cut these out and actually use these as my template on one of the papers in the kit. So you can do this with any type of font and you can just cut it out and you've instantly got your template for your lettering. If you'd prefer not to use scissors, if you find that a little bit fiddly, some people prefer to use a craft knife on a cutting mat. And I've reversed my patterned paper and I'm just drawing around now in pencil around each letter for me then to cut out. Right, the next thing I'm going to do, I should have maybe done this first and given it time to properly dry, but I'm going to add some watercolour at the top here. I'm going to pop some water on there. This is actually watercolour paper in this traveller's notebook. I bought it from Little Rainbow Moon. So it works really well for this kind of thing. And I would like a stripe. I'm making a double page and I'd like a stripe top and bottom. And I'm just going to do different shades of blue. Let's add some dark in there as well. There's no real technique to this at all. Blending them in, and then I always like to use kitchen roll just to blot it, not spread it but blot it. There we go. Oh, I like how the pink's shown through from what was on here previously. Added an extra bit of colour. There we go. I might add just a little bit more. That, and again I'm just going to blot that. This works really well. I like by blotting it you really tone down the colour. I didn't want it to be overpowering, so that works really well. And then I can carry on with the page. I might actually use, this is very damp, use the kitchen towel to go over the page a little bit. I quite like that look. Just sort of dabbing it just to give it a soft pattern. There we go, and that's like my background now. I've been cutting up the arrow patterned paper from the kit as well, and I'm going to be adding this to the top of the page. So I'll trim it down and just stick it in amongst the watercolours. Use the tag here, which I am going to cut down, and that's going to be stuck behind the photograph. So I'm now going to be using the letters that I cut out. I meant to say, by the way, I did one, where is it? I can't find it now. I did cut this one out wrong and it was around the wrong way, so make sure when you cut it out that they are correct. I had to redo that one. I'm going to stick the letters down, positioning them around. I've used the heart from the die cut instead of an O, and I might use some PVA glue for that actually. Stick it in place. So I've kind of like overlapped it a bit like that, and I'm taking the die cut. I'm going to use some 3D foam tape for that and position over the top because I really want that to stand out. Actually, let's stick that like that, and I'm going to use a black pen to go around the outside. I think I might cut some more of this actually and add some more arrows. And as you can see there with my title work, it really helps it to stand out. I think I'm just going to fussy cut a couple of these arrows as well and kind of like embellish around my photo. I'm going to use this arrow die cut as well to continue my title, and the title is going to read Love This Story. I'm going to print off my journaling to go on that side, and that will tell the story. So I've just written in the arrow this story. So I've printed my story. There's quite a lot. It's quite a hefty story. I've printed it onto A6 paper and I've actually trimmed down the edges so it fits nicely. This story is really important to me and I really wanted it to be told well. I'll tell you more about it in a sec. I'm now going to use the staples from the kit. I'm going to take out my regular staples from my stapler and simply pop the ones from the kit in there. I am just going to attach it, I think, with a bit of double-sided sticky because I want it to be straight on here like that. So it just holds it in place. And is that straight? I don't know, I think so. And then I'm just going to use the staple gun at the top there like that. I just want this left really plain like that. I did want to use the Remember This. I'm going to pop it on the bottom there, I think. I think that will look really nice. And so the story goes, I'm just going to decorate a little bit and I'll tell you about the story. The story goes that back in the 80s, my grandparents were visiting my granddad's sister, who lived, I think she lived near Sacramento, sort of up more northern California. And they took a plane to Anaheim to go to Disneyland. They were waiting to catch a taxi, and they asked this older guy, if they were going the right way. And he said he was taking a cab there anyway, and so to hop in with them. So during the journey, I don't know if they flew into LAX or where they travelled to, but they had a bit of a journey, and they obviously chatted during the journey and talking about stuff, and he was really, really nice apparently. They got to the Candy Cane Inn, which was the hotel where they were staying, and they said goodbye and thank you, and he refused to take any payment for the taxi, so obviously they were very grateful. And they went to check in at the Candy Cane Inn, and they were told that they were friends of his and that there was no payment to be made, and he was the owner apparently. Obviously they didn't know that. So it made such a big impact on them, and my nan still tells the story now. It's just so sweet. And so I sometimes wonder if that's where my love from Disney comes, because Nanny and Bampi spoke about it so much when we grew up. I would have been probably about 7 or 8 at the time, something like that. They brought us all back soft characters. I got a Mickey Mouse, my sister got Minnie Mouse, and I just always remember the stories of Disneyland. I went myself when I was 21 to the California one, and like I said, it was only just before we went on this trip that Nanny again told me the story about the Candy Cane Inn and the nice man, and so I had to go there. When we went, I had to go to the Candy Cane Inn to have my photo taken outside. It makes me feel quite choked talking about it. So I've printed off this photo, and I've obviously got some for Nanny to have. But I often wonder if they did have a big impact on my Disney life, because we grew up with Disney. The first ever cinema movie I went to see was Snow White, and it's just always played a really big part in our lives. And yeah, I wonder if, because they love Disney, I wonder if that's where it came from. And having listened to them always talk about their trips, and 'cause they travelled quite a lot, which I love. I'm going to pop that on there. Yeah, they were always going on nice holidays, and I always remember watching the travel programs with my granddad. You know, the Gloria Honeyford ones. Should we pop that up there? Yeah. So yeah, I think they had a really big impact on me, and I didn't realise at the time, and I grew up really, really close to my grandparents. So yeah, it feels very special. I think I'm going to do all the clusters. I'm going to keep this quite empty and have all the design on here, and I'm going to finish it like that. I'm really pleased with that. So I'm really glad that I've told that story. Like I said, I feel like it's a really important one for me, and it was really high up on my list of to-dos when we went to Disney. We weren't actually staying anywhere near there, but we made a point of actually going there so I could have my photo taken to show Nanny. There we go. I'm pleased with that page. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed listening about the history, and I really do think that this could possibly be the reason that I love Disney so much, and why I feel so connected. Let me know if you are a Disney fan as well. What got you to love Disney? For us, it was definitely this, and I think my mum always loved Disney. Like, we were I went to see Snow White for my first cinema experience. We grew up with Disney. We had all the sing-along videos. It was all about Disney. My rabbit was called Thumper. It's all those kind of things. I had a Bambi jumper that I loved when I was little. I think I must have been about 3 or 4. So I've kind of grown up with Disney. It's not just something I've loved since I've been older. And I always remember as a child other people going to Disneyland, and I never thought that I would be able to go. So it's funny how things turn out, but I would love to know, what's your history about Disney? How did you get into it, if you are into it? And don't forget, there's a challenge. I would love you to document a heartfelt story this month. You don't have to use your kit. You can use anything. If you want to use your Lollipop kit, that's wonderful. I will link up the Lollipop chat group below, and you will see an album there where you can join in and you can add your own photos, see what other people are doing, have a look at their stories. But it's all about journaling. You don't have to have one of my kits to join in. Everybody is welcome. I will link up the kit below, as you can still buy one of these. They get sent on January the 17th, so there's still lots of time. And if you subscribe to the kit, you get freebies, you get it at a discounted price, and you get free printables as well. Really hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I am back on Thursday with an IKEA shopping video. I can't wait to share that with you. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Take care. Bye.